Are you thinking of making a move or selling your home? Our Center Stage Nonprofits of Tucson host Danielle Johnson can help you. Danielle's passion for helping others shines through in her advocacy for her clients. Call Danielle Johnson with Indy Realty at 520-373-6864 for a free home valuation or no obligation consultation. That's 520-373-6864.
We have Tian Kennedy and Christy Voss from Gap Ministries. And just in case you're just now tuning in, can we get just a very quick recap of what Gap Ministries is, who you're reaching out to, and some of the services you provide?
We are a social services organization that reaches, our primary focus is children. And from there, we want to try to break cycles of poverty and abuse that lead to people needing to put their children in foster care, or if they are already in foster care, help them get their children and get their lives back on track to not have to be in those cycles of poverty and abuse anymore. So we have several different ways they can get involved or get help that they need to get out of those cycles.
Yeah, so we've talked about, some of the kids and the things that they need, the parents and things that they need, the opportunities, the resources. There's a lot going on. There's a lot involved in this. This is not just a tiny little one-track thing. This is big, and the impact is huge. And so we've also talked a little bit about how this is primarily run by volunteers. There are people that are volunteering a lot of their time to make this happen. And, that in itself just speaks so much to the impact that Gap Ministries is having on Tucson. And so I'm hoping that some of our listeners are hearing this and thinking, maybe this is something that I'd like to get involved in. I care about our community. I care about kids. I care about these families who need help. And so if someone is listening and they're starting to think this, we want to be able to give them those resources. So how can they get involved? What can they do to volunteer? First steps, what do we do with volunteering?
Well, anybody can go to our website at gapmin.com and get connected to volunteer with us. We have a volunteer page where they can fill out an application. There's listed a bunch of different ways that they can be involved or things that they can look at and say, oh, that sounds interesting to me. I think I'd like information about that. And when they submit the application, I make contact with them and get them connected with an area that they would like to be, or the area that we have the greatest need right now, and just have people connect to us through that. That's the easiest way to get started with getting involved with volunteering. We mentioned about how many volunteers we have that are with us so much, but you don't have to be able to come every day a week to be able to volunteer with us, just 2 or 3 hours a week, or if you have a group of people from church or from school or from different organizations, work that want to come and volunteer somewhere, help out their community. That's a great way to connect with us as well, and we utilize group help a lot, and it's really very beneficial for us.
What are some of the specific areas that you can use volunteers?
So ongoing, we always have need for volunteers in our core departments that we have. Our kitchen, getting those meals out every day is a chore, and with the staff that they have, that they can't do it all by themselves. And so having volunteers come in to help with that, that's prepping and packaging food to go out to the different people that we're feeding. Then in our warehouse, we have volunteers come in. They help and sort and organize some of those donations that we get from the large retailers. They help distribute, kind of get all of those things put together in the places where they need to go, whether it's going to our foster group homes, or if it's going to foster families, or if it's going to the community. They're separating all those things out, organizing them, putting them on shelves, getting ready for the people who are coming to pick those items up. And then we also have people help in our just with maintenance. Landscaping at our group homes is something that we always need to have done, and that's costly to hire out. And so having volunteers come and help us with that is a really great benefit to us. we have maintenance on our campus of Hope that we can use people that enjoy doing things with their hands, carpentry and different things like that. They can help with those ways. And so those are kind of things that are ongoing all the time. Sometimes we have some special events coming up or something that's happening in the office where we need a few people to come in and help with different things like that. But those are on a more rare basis. And so when I have those come up, then I follow up with people who said they want to help with special events.
So, I mean, you just mentioned a lot of different skill sets. There's not a specific skill set or a specific person that you're looking for to volunteer. Are there requirements for volunteering?
Basically, we can work with just about anybody. We have a lot of people who have different physical limitations that they need to be able to sit down to do things. We have different things they can do in the warehouse while seated or at the kitchen while seated. We have things that you can do with families. Not so much really young children, but about 8 years old and up, we can have children come and help as long as they have good adult supervision with them.
Yeah.
Making sure they're not running around too much. But yeah, there's not really a whole lot of limitations. If you're willing to come, we would love to use your help. We even have opportunities for people who are needing community service. Both court mandated, and we have students who come in that need school community service hours for their transcripts, and so they come in and put in some time with us too, and we're able to give the hours verification if we need to for those type of things as well.
That's awesome. For a group who wants to come in, are there a minimum or maximum number of people, that you can have come in groups, or is it just based on the needs at the time?
So minimum, we say about 5, just because if it's less than that, then it's more difficult to try to get a group activity for a smaller group than that. So about 5, depending on where they're helping. We do have groups that will, like we have a school group coming in a couple weeks that they have 50 people. And so we're splitting them up into various areas to make sure that all areas are covered, but we want to accommodate larger groups like that. We can't do that every day, but we can do that on different occasions where we can set that up ahead of time and make sure that they're helping in many different ways. And it's great to do that because we see the fruit of their labor helping in several different ways, and it's covering a lot of bases for us. So I would say for a normal group, about 15 to 20 would be about a good size maximum, but we can accommodate splitting things up into various areas at the same time.
Awesome. And for someone who maybe is more needing to do something from home, are there ever opportunities where they can, do something else other than just coming in physically and working? Are there other opportunities?
There is not as much because of how much is on-site need for us. We have so much that we need right there in our location. But we have had a couple of times where some organizations have put together school supplies packs that they were reaching out and figuring out from us exactly what we needed, and we were able to submit to them some school items that we don't usually get donated, and they were able to put together some packs to bring those in that we could just quickly put right into a backpack for our foster kids and that kind of thing.
Valentine,
that's an awesome idea.
We had a church group wanted to bless all the house parents because that's a hard job having 10 kids that are coming from all different backgrounds, and they put together really nice Valentine's goodie bag or baskets for the moms and dads who are those house parents. So we've had people do Easter baskets.
Yes, there's been
Christmas
some that have
stockings.
done making quilts together. They were making quilts for foster kids and foster families.
Or a
and
drive if somebody wanted to do some kind of a canned food drive.
Yep.
I mean, we're open to things. If people call and say, I have this great idea, I was thinking about, my two daughters like to stamp, and we would like to send cards to encourage your foster families every month. Maybe we do that. I don't know. We're up for things if you have ideas.
Yes, we are.
I love
definitely.
that. There's so many unique things because we're talking about people and families who that encouragement is a
Right.
big deal.
Right.
It's so meaningful to them. And if someone wants to donate either items, physical items, or if they would like to donate financially, how can they do that? And how can they find what is needed?
We have if you go to, it's on our website, but I'll give you a quicker way to get to it. We have something called gapwishlist.com. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes.
Gapwishlist.com. And that takes you to a page that has all kinds of, each of the departments have said that the splash group homes could really use this. The kitchen needs this. The warehouse could use this. So it's just kind of their wish list. It's on Amazon. So you would just go on Amazon, order it, and have it shipped to Gap. Super easy. And that's specifically things they really need.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, cash donations, we qualify for the foster care tax credit. So $500 for individuals, $1,000 for couples, and that's 100%. That instead of paying the state of Arizona your taxes, you can choose to give to Gap Ministries, and it's 100%. I wouldn't say refundable, but it's in lieu of your taxes. Instead of paying the government, you pay and help
Yeah.
families and kids in need. So that's great. We have an event going on right now to encourage a culture of monthly giving, even if it's just $5 a month, which is $60 a year, and we call it the Summer Heat Wave. Because summer's a really slow time for most organizations, because people
Yeah.
go to nice places in the mountains or on the seacoast, and the rest of us stuck here in this heat are trying to get things done still. So the heatwave.gapmin.com tells more about that. And if you decide to sign up to be a monthly donor for $5 or more, you get entered in drawings. And we have some really great resorts that donated
do.
2-night Stays.
Yeah.
White Stallion Ranch,
Tanque Verde.
Lowe's, and Desert Diamond Casino. Those are the ones that are still left. Plus, we have other things like Arizona and all kinds of fun things.
Chick-fil-A, EG's, but Tucson Botanical Gardens.
Yeah.
Several different
And
places.
how do you do that? How do you get
Well, they can go to
registered for that?
gapmin.com, and then it's on the very front page. You'll see Heat Wave, and you can click there and go to it. Or you can also go to heatwave.gapmin.com. And it's becoming a monthly donor for $5 or whatever's a good amount for you. And that's completely tax deductible and it qualifies for the foster care tax credit. So
That is,
yeah.
So that's
And then
so
you're
cool.
entered,
It's a great
so.
opportunity. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Today we had Tian Kennedy and Christy Voss from Gap Ministries. We've heard lots of different ways to volunteer and to get involved. If you haven't checked them out yet, please do. Gapmin.com. Thank you for tuning into our show today. I'm so glad you could be here. If you'd like to learn more about Center Stage, Nonprofits of Tucson, you can find us on social media at Center Stage Tucson, or reach out to us, centerstagetucson@gmail.com. I'd love to hear your comments or questions or get connected. We'll see you next week.